Dearest brothers and sisters, I am Jesse on a beautiful, magnificent spring day here in the Rose Garden in Berkeley. And the Romans are just beginning to blossom. There's so much energy, there's so much aliveness here. It is such a privilege to present to you today from this magnificent amphitheater. Imagine a hillside has been turned into row upon row of roses of every hue, color, and shape. And today we're going to be doing a planting here among all of this magnificence. We're going to be planting wheatgrass, the wheatgrass of redemption. And why do I call it that? Because it's obvious, it's all too obvious, that regeneration, renewal, and redemption is what all of us so desperately need. The headlines bespeak this every day. Just read them aloud to yourself and weep that the country has come to this. So here we go. We have, these are wheat berries, organic of course, that we first soaked overnight, and then we rinsed every single day, and we covered them over so they would remain moist. So these are wheat berries. In just a few days, just 2 or 3 days, they have germinated so magnificently. So we're going to be sowing them into a bed of compost and manure. Here at Living Tree, we love manure. It's an absolute necessity for any sort of organic farming. Not only does it fertilize the plants, but it also makes the soil friable. So here we go. We're going to be planting wheatgrass. These are sprouted wheatgrass berries, and scatter them over the bed. And we plant these wheat berries. We plant them because over 40% of us, that means something like 150 million Americans, have become obese. And we do not mean just overweight, but we mean obese. And this is a tragedy without precedent in all of American history, without any precedent at all. And we weep over this tragedy. A moment ago, it used to be the opposite. People were starving. People were desperate for food, especially in the Great Depression and in earlier colonial times. And now here it is. We have ostensibly an abundance. And what do people do? They destroy their bodies by pumping themselves with junk food. Let's go deeper into this. It's not one's appetite. It's something deeper than that. It's a symptom of loneliness. Never before have a people been as alone and isolated as we are. How many of us live alone? How many of us have so very, very few friends that we can confide in? How many of us are isolated from families, from neighbors, from neighborhoods? This is all so sad and tragic. And what do they do? What do they do? They pump themselves with food. And the food, unfortunately, is all too often junk food. But of course, and I'll never forget that during the height of COVID, you had to stay separate from one another, 6 feet away. They called it social distancing, as if there has never been in this country such a thing as social distancing. It has always been there. Just stand in line at any bank or at the checkout counter of any supermarket. Or in driving your car, just stop at the crossroads and look at the people as they saunter by with their bloated bellies, with their heads in their cell phones. When have we not had social distancing? And therefore we look upon obesity as a cry welling from the depths, from the wellspring of loneliness. Where have all the lonely people gone? Where do all the lonely people come from? We might well ask that question. We become abstractions. We have the commodities that we deal with have penetrated our souls. We have become things. It is commodities that cast the long shadows that set the rhythm of the world, where we just follow along and march to the pace of a different drummer, the drummer of thingification. We have become things. It is all so very, very tragic. A nation of strangers. Can we be more distant and more alone? So from this loneliness springs obesity as a kind of symptom. And from obesity, the next stop on the road is diabetes type 2. And the next stop after diabetes is cardiovascular. And after that, it's cancer, a most tragic progression indeed. It need not be. But back to our wheatgrass. So here I've put the wheatgrass. Now when I get the wheatgrass back, the first thing I'm going to do is to water it. And then I'm going to cover this with a damp towel or damp paper tissues. And I'm going to water it every morning and every night. And very, very soon, within a couple days, you'll see shoots appear. And when that happens, put it out in direct sun by all means. Water every morning, water every evening. And within a week or two, you'll have a magnificent tray of vibrant, organonic, energetic wheatgrass. You can juice it with your carrot. Imagine carrot and wheatgrass juice. You could put it in your smoothies. You could even put it in your live soups and blend it into your desserts. What a treasure, what a blessing wheatgrass is. So, as to ourselves, in the delirium that we are caught up in, I just want to express my hope in your sensibility. After all, your forebears saved the world a generation ago from radical evil. They came through, and so too, without any doubt, given the life stirring at the grassroots of this country, you will bring back the buffalo. You will restore them. You will restore Hetch Hetchy, the valley parallel to Yosemite, 20 miles to the north, that's presently inundated under 300 feet of water. You will restore Hetch Hetchy. You will reforest this great country, and you will fill the vacant lands in every city with community gardens. You will turn every schoolyard into an edible schoolyard, and every public park into an edible forest. You can do it with your congealed and concentrated energy, with your perspectivity, with your focus, with the power of concentrated energy. Is there anything that you cannot accomplish, my dear brothers and sisters? Well, brothers and sisters, 2 weeks ago, in the Berkeley Rose Garden, we planted some wheat berries, and here we have it, a magnificent tray of wheatgrass, all ready for juicing, for green drinks, to put in smoothies, to lend vitality and vivacity to everything we eat. Our privilege to share with you. Wheatgrass. Think on it. Let us go forward. My privilege to share. Thank you.